Hello, my name is Mike Jones. I'm the Education Manager for the OAUG. Welcome everyone to this Meet Your Experts. You're going to be talking to the experts for Collaborate 18. Before we get started, I'd like to start a little housekeeping notes. First, you'll be on mute throughout the presentation. If you have any questions, please type it into the control panel at any time. At the end of the presentation, we'll go ahead and answer any questions that you have. First, I'd like to introduce us to our speakers for the Meet the Experts. The first speaker we have is going to be, actually Kaberi couldn't join us. So we have Mohan Iyer. He's the Collaborate 18 Strategic Programs Chair. He's presented a bunch. We also have Janet Ortiz. She's the Collaborate 18 Agenda Co-Chair. We also have Doug Manning, who is the 2017 OAUG International Committee Chair. First off, we're going to have the tips and tricks that Mohan Iyer will be discussing. Take it away, Mohan.
Thank you, Mike. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. I say good morning because I'm in California. It's nice and bright and sunny here. I hope you all are having a wonderful week, beginning of the week. Just a little bit of tips and tricks on how to, one, submit a paper which has a high chance of getting selected, is obviously choose a specific idea, which is one, not too narrow, but also shows some interest for a lot more people than just a few of the people that are working with you. It should have a broad appeal, which means that it should actually address a task or an issue or a problem that a lot of people will see in their day-to-day work using applications. It could also be something which is process related, which means that the application may not be the front and center of your presentation. That's fine too, because a lot of people have their really day jobs, which they do as part of, doing a project or something which is an extension of what they're already using. So that also is a good way to start. We have over the years gathered a wish list of topics that when people come up and tell us either at conferences or send out emails to the board asking for specific topics or specific coverage, we actually have that list available online. When you go to submit your presentation, you will actually be able to scroll down and there'll be a link to the wish list that we have online. You could take a look at that. You could choose some topic which is there, or you could choose something which is close to that or related, which means that there have been people who've asked for that. So obviously this is a topic that a lot of people are looking at. And then you can reach out to any of us on this webinar, or you could reach out to Janet or anybody else who is available for help to understand what you can do to get a better chance of doing that. Also, I think people wait till the last week to submit. I know I have done that in the past, but one of the things you want to do is submit as early as possible, because that gives you things and thoughts that you might be able to change or actually submit more than one. There are limitations, and that goes by some of the rules that the board has set in place. One of the things that we've noticed a lot of people say is that they have 2 or 3 things that they focus on in general when they're voting. A title. The title has to do 2 things. Has to provide some information about what the presentation is about, and obviously it's got to be catchy. So both of these things actually allow the person to move to the next step, read the abstract, etc. There are 5 objectives that when you submit, people are expected to fill in. Please don't just fill in a couple. Please fill in all 5. I know sometimes it's not relevant, but try and make the most of filling in those objectives, because those objectives then drive how people will attend, as well as how people will select your papers for being important to them. One of the things we've noticed in a lot of submissions and papers is grammatical errors and spelling errors. Please be a little cautious and a little double down and make sure that they are focused, they are to the point, because that is exactly what would help people understand why we should attend your session. And obviously the story has to be good. A success story, a story which has overcome problem statement that you have, a pain point, those things actually allow us to be on the same page about what you're presenting. And then one of the things that the OAUG as a user group does is has a focus on having user content. So if you are presenting with a user, please have the user be the first presenter. That obviously enhances the chances of your paper being selected. Thank you. Okay, this is me too. Strategic programs. We've been working through strategic programs over the past 5 to 6 years. And what a strategic program does is it actually allows us to manage a focused content in a specific area, which is part of that track. So we have multiple sessions in a track which cover a specific topic. This time we've chosen to cover Hyperion, EPM, and analytics as one of the tracks, which means that you will have 4, 5, or 6 sessions that will cover everything that you would do related to that topic. So it could be Hyperion, EPM, analytics, and we will build a session set which starts from the beginning of a particular pain point, problem statement, and then take you to the solution. It could also be slightly disconnected, but relative to being able to utilize the data that you have for analytics or for reporting or for some kind of control mechanism. So we're thinking about doing this for Hyperion, EPM, and analytics, which probably will mean we would cover things like how to set up a cube, how to do security within the cubes, how to engage and use Hyperion in association with an ERP package, which could be Oracle, which could be something else. And analytics is coming up as a focus area for a lot of businesses. So we are also doing some work on that. The other track that we're doing in the exploration series is emerging leaders. These are probably people who have come into the workforce in the last couple of years, and they are having some amount of challenges in getting and understanding how they would go to the next step, move forward in their career. So we're trying to get a kind of a more learning and professional learning series on this, and we will have 4, maybe 5 sessions of how people can get into the mold, how they can reach out and meet people who've been there, done that, and be able to help you along with whatever they need to do. Now, if you could submit the paper, but if you are very specific and you need to get some help, please email the email on the slide, speakerprograms@oaug.org. Please put in the subject exploration series, and if it is related to Hyperion, EPM analytics, add that, or if it's related to emerging leaders, add that and send that off, and it'll reach the appropriate person who will then help guide you if you need any guidance or help you understand where you would fit into the series. Thank you, Mike.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or if it's evening, good evening to you. My name's Doug Manning. I'm currently the OAUG International Committee Chair. I'm also a current OAUG Board of Director member, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the international program with regard to Collaborate. As you know, OAUG is a global organization. We try to provide information about Oracle products to a global audience. Every year at Collaborate, we have folks from all over the world attend. And this year, with Collaborate, we're trying to increase the number of international track presentations by about 25% to bolster that program going forward. Some of the areas that we're looking to get papers on would include electronic invoicing from a global perspective. As you know, a lot of countries, the business to government invoicing is increasing. I know in the European Union, they're looking to try to get 30 countries moving to electronic invoicing by 2019. There's also electronic VAT audit elements that we're looking to try to get papers on. Some countries are already enforcing that, like some of the countries in Latin America, some of the countries in Europe, Denmark, Sweden, Italy, Spain already have programs in place. Some other European countries are currently moving towards that. Others are in progress. So we want to get a perspective from the user community with regard to using Oracle E-Business Suite, how they're doing electronic invoicing, how is it working for them, the electronic VAT audit process, how is that working as well from a fiscal audit standpoint. Again, the landscape there, the areas there, some countries like Germany, Brazil, Portugal already enforce it. Other countries are looking to go towards it. So we're looking for some of the folks that are already using that capability to help us provide information, experience that you have in those areas. Also taxes. There are obviously tax nuances across countries and across regions. With regard to using Oracle E-Business Suite, we're looking to see folks' experience with that. Again, some success stories or good stories with regard to utilizing Oracle E-Business Suite from a tax perspective. I know the new 12.2 product has new tax functionality, especially in India with the GST. I know in Spain, Oracle's looking to provide online VAT registration. So there's a lot of information, new information out there that I know people are encountering, having concerns with or issues with that we'd like to have speakers on. Obviously with localizations, that's a key component in terms of getting information on how you utilize the Oracle E-Business Suite in home countries. Chart of accounts is always an area that we're always interested in terms of companies, how they set those up, how they utilize them in specific regions. And again, Oracle has products out there to help folks in different localization communities. I mean, are you using Oracle's Globalization Center? Are you taking a look at the legislative updates in MOS? Are you using the country-specific data sheets or not? So these are the kind of areas we're like focusing on in terms of paper content for Collaborate 18. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Mike, and thank you very much.
Hey, Janet, you're up.
Okay, great. Hello, everyone. My name is Janet Ortiz, and Mike, if you could change the slide. Okay, wonderful. So hello, folks. So what I'd like to do is just take a moment to point out some useful areas where you can receive more information. What I would do is start off by going to collaborate.oaug.org. I'd start off there. There's quite a bit of information there. If you go about halfway down over to the right, there's a small box, and it basically, once you click on that, you're going to go into the presenter information. This is where you will find information such as exciting benefits that you will earn if you're accepted, gives you information on how to apply, gives you information on previously published articles. I would strongly recommend taking a look at that. And then finally, it talks about the guidelines and basically review the limitations that are on that list. At the very bottom of that webpage, you can click on wish list. And earlier in Mohan talked about the wish list that is published. I would take a look at that. It's a PDF that comes up with various information as far as what we're looking for. So this slide basically, there's 3 useful URLs, but if you click on the first one, you can maneuver into the other ones. And then on the next slide, these are basically strong, hard deadlines. And Mike, if you could click on the next slide, please. Okay, so 3 different things that you need to remember. Number 1 is the deadline. It's 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so just keep that in mind if you're in a different time zone. The time we accept is 11:59 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, October 20th. Call for presentations closes after that. So if you're even a minute later, fortunately, it will not be accepted. The second thing to remember is the week of November 27th. All accepted presenters are notified. And then the last hard deadline is 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, February. All presentation materials, including white paper and slide presentations, are due. So just keep in mind these very strong hard deadlines. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Janet. Again, if anyone has any questions, please type them into the question area at your control panel at any time. You've got four really great experts here, so if you have any questions, now would be a great time to ask them. I know Mohan covered a lot of great points. Again, this year, I know we're going to really focus on user papers as well, user experiences. So if you are a Oracle user and a user of eBusiness Suite, and you've kind of conquered a problem or a task, that is a great story we want to hear. Again, if you have any questions at all, go ahead and type them into the control panel now. We'll wait just a moment to see if it pops up. And I'm not sure, it did seem like there was a little bit of a delay when switching slides. So, oh, there we go. You get one question. And I'm going to put this in the chat area because it is kind of a little bit of a long question, so everyone can review it. Okay, we built integration using Visual Studio, SQL, and C++ to connect Fusion customer experience. CRM works great. We like it better than Java we had. It was an extra code base to maintain. Is that within scope?
I can answer that. When you ask, is that within scope, I'm assuming you're asking whether it's a good paper to present. It is. There is actually a track for technology and extensions, and this could actually fall under the bucket of extensions. So yes, you actually can submit that. But like I said, you want to make sure that you put what you gained out of it and put a catchy title. And obviously with the objectives, you would say, you know, what objectives were met when you build this around trying to make this happen. So I think, yes, you have a choice, and you should put this in. It will fall under the technology or technical track.
Okay, we've got another one. The next question is, how many presentation slots are available? I can actually take that one. It really depends. We do have extra space if we need it. Last year we accepted 488 presentations. We had roughly around 1,800 submissions. So there's what we generally do is we look at how many submissions there are, and we also kind of break them out to what field or area they're in, and we kind of develop a percentage from that. So with the different areas and the different submissions, we really try to figure out exactly a percentage of presentations we want in a particular smart track or regular track. So that's generally how we do it. Hopefully that answered your question okay. Any other questions? Okay, a couple more popping in here. I think there is a little bit of a delay, so I'm glad I'm waiting on this. How long does each one last? I'm gonna have to assume you're talking about each presentation needs to be roughly around 45 minutes long, and plan on a 10-minute Q&A. We have a full hour for each presentation, so that's how long each one you'll give. That's generally what we're going to be going for. Another person asked, "Are we going to get a copy of the recording?" We will record we have been recording this, and we will put it a link to YouTube on those links that Janet shared with us earlier. It's the Collaborate Present link. We'll upload this presentation via YouTube. Plus, the tips and tricks will be located up there on the webpage as well. Any other questions? Okay. Again,
Mike,
if anyone,
Mike, this is Janet. I was just going to kind of make sure to have folks to take a look at the guidelines. There were some questions around how many presentations and such, and so under that guidelines area, in one of the URLs, it basically talks about applicants may submit an unlimited number of presentation proposals during the call for presentation. Priority is given to employees of OAUG member organizations. And I think it mentions in there the percentage that you talked about. So there's quite a bit of information under the guidelines in that URL. I just wanted folks to take a look at that. Yep.
Thank you, Janet.
Mm-hmm.
We did get another question. What is the difference between a chosen presentation and a solution spotlight session? It says, I'm assuming it's cost. That is kind of correct. Chosen presentations are selected. Any person can submit a session and it can be accepted and to collaborate. The solution spotlights are more designed for exhibitors and sponsors. There are 20-minute sessions that we run on the exhibit floor. The exhibit floor that exhibitors can purchase, and they can give a quick kind of update of latest, greatest things that they're running. And that's what a solution spotlight is. All right. Again, I think these things are a little bit delayed coming to me. I'm not sure where that is. If anyone does have any questions, my name and email is up there on the screen. Feel free to go ahead and email me any questions at all, and I can get them answered for you. So I'm going to go ahead and close out this presentation. I want to, again, thank all our panelists. Got some great information out there, some really great experts that have really presented and done well. Have really done great. So thank you very much. I did get one more question about putting up the URLs. So I'm going to put that up there. And again, thank our panelists for presenting. And we hope to see everyone. I hope to see everyone there at Collaborate 18. It's going to be a fantastic conference. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.